Welcome back to another episode of TVGP's We Roguelike It, the show we are just summoning and sacrificing so many of these helpless pink humans. They gotta go in the chute and we get food for them. I don't know what happens down there. Doesn't matter. It's all good. I'm your host, Boston, and joining me as always is Moonpear.
Hi, I think. I don't know. Maybe.
We're here to talk about week 2 of Despot's game. I'm in the middle of a surprisingly good run on normal mode right now.
Yeah, I'm not playing normal mode anymore. Screw that mode. I hate normal mode. I unlocked easy mode, and easy mode is the way to go.
Easy mode feels way better. So the thing I like. Okay, take a step back. Let's talk about achievements that don't end in 5 or 0 and how they should burn in the fire of the sun. Thanks, Xbox game makers. Appreciate when you put a bunch of them in there and then the get everything achievement ends in a 1. Thanks. I'm never going to be doing that.
Did you happen to look at what some of these achievements are, by the way?
Yeah, because I have the majority of them at this point, but the rest of them that I have open are not going to be easy.
You're, of course, talking about the King of the Hill challenge achievements.
Yeah, which sucks, man. So, if anyone hasn't run into it yet, or maybe aren't playing this game, you can only get to King of the Hill after a successfully completed run of this game. And then you essentially fight a copy of another player's team that has also successfully completed a run. So it'll be like you're fighting against Bugsnax 420's team over on the other side, and then they just stomp you, and it's like, all right, good luck. You got it's season 2. There you go.
Governed by Weed was my favorite one I ran into.
I mean, they're honest, I guess. Goodness.
And honestly, this might be a good stoner game because you just do a bunch of setup and press a button. Like,
that's
it's
right.
not that hard.
They do the fighting for you, man. It's all good. So I think there's an achievement for doing that 100 times.
1, 20, and 100, and specifically 100 victories, not 100
Are you for
attempts.
real?
100 victories, dude.
I mean, 100 of them by itself would be unreasonable, to put it kindly, but 100 victories is... I don't know how many hundreds of King of the Hill matches you're going to have to play.
Yep, so apparently you get anywhere between 4 to 6 at the end of each completion. And then depending on that, even if you're averaging a good 50%, let's say 2 wins per thing, it's 50 clears of the game.
It's too much. It's too much, man. So we won't be doing that, that's for sure. Which is another good reason for playing easy.
You won't be doing that.
Hey man, I like this game a lot, which is why I won't be doing that achievement, is I don't want to get to the point. I will be. Yeah, there's another game another game I played this week where I might have pooped myself out of it by getting the platinum, so but I have gotten all of the... One of the things I like about this game is when you go to do a new run, there are 2 essentially modifiers you can do. One is, let's call it the difficulty. It can be easy, normal, hard, like the ones with all the mutations.
We can call it a game modifier versus a build modifier, like a starting build modifier.
That's a good way of putting it. Yeah, so your game modifiers, I kind of like. I've been playing a lot of the mutations mode, where you just get...
I haven't tried it, so I saw 50 and I was like, oh no, maybe I should try that one.
It's a lot of fun, actually, because you're just... The majority of stuff you're running into is mutations, as opposed to the majority of the rooms you get being stores. So it's
I'm curious if it's that case because you have the extra alters mutation active, because
Mm.
I'm on a run at the moment where I'm trying out different builds. I'm trying to specialize and see what's
Yep.
going on, because I actually got a clear this week. I should mention I
Hey,
did
nice.
get a full clear this week, and I had literally five of everything except for shooters, because I ran into an android that wanted to replace my eyeballs, and
Yes.
then the mutation I got was my shooters can't shoot no more.
Oh
So
man, that one really sucks.
when my shooters died, I left them be. I was
Yep.
like, no more shooters for me. If you die, you die. So I had literally like five of everything, a whole bunch of summons, like robots and fires and parrots and stuff like that.
Nice.
Got through it on easy mode, I will specify.
Yeah.
On easy. Got through the whole thing, had a fun time, and then started unlocking a bunch of more of those like starting loadouts and stuff like that.
Yep.
And I'm experimenting now to see how I feel about like how to build my team. Because I've noticed if you lose a tank near the end of the game, then a replacement tank is almost useless.
They die in like maybe one hit. Like they get stomped into the ground immediately.
Yeah, and it's just like, well, okay, maybe that's because I wasn't spending enough in the mutations thing on the top, the things you can buy. So I started doing that, and I'm like almost at the full bar, and I'm only on like the second world basically, because I've bought so many mutations. And the one I got I got was I sunk the full like 180 into the more mutation alters, which gives you the option and the reroll if you don't like any of them.
Gotcha.
So right now I'm running with a bunch of tricksters and healers, and the tricksters have all got ridiculous evade stats. So like they just keep jumping up if the enemy's attacks.
Interesting.
While the medics are in the back healing them, but they also have the mutation where when they heal somebody, you get like 80% attack increase for 5 seconds.
Oh man, that's a good one.
So like the tricksters evade and then do a bunch of attacks and slow down the enemy attacks, because the mutations they have slows down the enemy attacks. And then the healers heal them and they attack even faster, while also at the same time slowing down the enemy's attacks.
Right. It feels really good when you can get a really good build going with the units you have. Like it feels like it's kind of challenging to get the ones that you have. Like the game would probably be too easy if when you get to one of the rooms where you can pick the 3 mutations, it would probably be too easy if it's only showing you the mutations for the classes that you have currently. Like that, you could probably just steamroll the game, no problem. But boy, that sure would be fun. But I like those kind of game modifiers and build modifiers that you can unlock. I really like the build modifiers because it makes it kind of fun to go through and say like, oh yeah, I'm gonna play this melee only one, and it's just got dude with claws, dudes with a sword, and another guy who's punching some stuff. I've been playing recently with it's called Medieval. It's the sword in the stone and a plague doctor. Yeah.
Yes.
And a plague doctor. And those are your only 2 starting units, which can make the ramp pretty hard in the first couple of rooms, but you already have a strong healer to begin with. So as soon as you dash to that first room to buy a bunch of units, you're in a pretty good spot in the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
I like that. I think that makes the game feel cool.
What is your favorite reference so far?
Yeah, we didn't talk about this last week.
We haven't talked about this at all yet.
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about the references in this. It reminds me a lot of Neon Abyss, where the references were just kind of like, yeah, here's a Harry Potter one. Here's a God, what are the other references I've seen that I've liked?
Sailor Moon.
Yeah, there's a good Sailor Moon ones. There's Doctor Who all over the place. There's a really good CAPTCHA reference in there when you go to a new floor and the game is like, hey, I need you to solve this puzzle. Which how many of these has a red car in them? And I like the one of the options is like, what are you talking about?
All I see is a bunch of squares within squares. I don't see no
That's right.
no whole vehicle.
Yeah.
Did you successfully complete that check, by the way?
I don't remember. I've gotten it a bunch and I don't remember.
Next time, pay attention because there's an achievement for beating the game with that character. By the way.
Oh really?
Um,
Okay.
Uh huh. Because if you get it right and you basically pretend you're an android, you answer like an android would answer, basically.
Right.
And he joins your team. 3 people join your team.
Wow. Okay.
And they are all. I think it's a shooter, a regular human, and maybe a trickster. And they are just overpowered as hell right off the get-go. So
Great.
if you get that, that's 3 free humans that you can embrace. So what we're talking about, by the way, is you choose a human's class by giving them an item. That item is a referential thing usually.
Right. Like 9 times out of 10.
Yes. And then that human takes on that class and uses the specific item that you give them, like a ping pong paddle, for example, or stilts, or Dr. Octopus's legs,
or a Bavarian pretzel.
or a Bavarian pretzel. That's a very good one too. Which he throws at people. That's a chucker. I know that much.
Yeah. And that's on top of each character having kind of a randomly generated name that a lot of the names are actually pretty good in this game. And they're nothing... Most of them aren't referential, but I think a lot of the comedy comes from... Here's a random first name and a random last name was smushed together. That's kind of a funny name.
I did make a fighter out of, I think it was Victoria the Valerian, which is a sick Game of Thrones reference there. So I give them the giant sword, which is a pull down of Cloud sword, essentially, where it's like bigger than they are. Yeah. Maybe it's Berserk sword because he goes red and like has like a red energy when he uses his special ability.
I think it is Guts' sword, yeah.
And I haven't seen it in Berserk, so I don't know.
I like that the sword and the stone, there's 2 versions of it. One of them is the stone is being dragged behind them. The sword is still in the stone, and one of them is just Excalibur without the stone. I think that's a really good. And we didn't talk about this last week either. I really like the pixel art in this game. Like, not only is it good, it's solid. It's smooth too. Like, there's a lot of frames of animation.
Something else we probably didn't mention is, hey, the music really slaps. Like,
it's actually really good.
Really good.
The sound effect that's been stuck in my head all week has been the humans going down the tubes, the wee 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 wee.
Yep.
And also, special note, patch 1.1 came out this week. Seems like it ushered in season 2 of the King of the Hill, whatever. But the one change that they did make that I think impacts us in the early goings of this game is when you, depending on the last boss you beat on the previous run, you would potentially get a bonus at the beginning of your next run. A little crow from Death's Door shows up and gives you a button at the beginning. Yeah, which the animation of that crow leaving is really great. It just goes away and then reaches down and pulls its hat up behind it. I feel like that's actually a pretty solid bonus, because sometimes you can just kind of start with a pretty good button there, like, hey, let's make 3 humans 2 times. Like that's pretty powerful in the beginning of the game, especially. It's a nice little thing.
Button, which is to reset the level when you die.
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
Which is cool as hell. I do like Liu Kang. I don't know if you've seen Liu Kang, how focused you've been on fighters.
When I saw the outfit in the store the first time, I'm like, I don't think I understand like what this piece of clothing is. And you pick it up, and I was just like, all right, I don't think I understand it. And then the first attack he did was he goes in the air and does the bicycle kick, and I was just like, yeah, that's really good.
Oh, as
you
soon as
got
I
me.
saw the headband and the pants, I was like,
Yep.
yeah, it's Liu
Yeah.
Kang. And then he did that, and I was like, yeah, it's 100% Liu Kang. I honestly thought the yellow suit was gonna be Kill Bill.
Yes, me too.
It's not. It's One Punch Man, which is
Yep.
hilarious. The
Yep.
fact that it's One Punch Man, it's just like, okay,
Yeah, the Sailor
I
Moon
guess.
outfit is really good. I I th- it,
Have you got the guitar yet?
uh I don't know if I have. I keep seeing it on sale in the store, but I don't remember what class it is, so I feel like I
It's a
never pick it up.
cultist class.
Okay.
And it's an electric guitar, but it's called RR, which I think is a nice little reference to KK Slider.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
and when you get it, you know how the cultists form that summoning circle and
Mm,
summon like a black tentacle monster?
hmm
He goes in the circle too, but he plays guitar. He's got little pyro pots next to him that go up in the air, and he's like headbanging while he's playing.
That's really good.
It's so good, dude.
That's really good.
I have to ask, you probably have the achievement, did you experiment with it? The pit. When you throw 5 humans down the pit, did you get that mutation
I
yet?
I did get that mutation. I just got it the other day though, and I don't remember what it does.
So any human that is not equipped with the class will
Oh,
combine
you know, like that
into
mega human. Oh, it's
huh?
so big. I so when I got that one, I had both buttons in the game. I had the spawn 3 humans at one time one. So I left the room, hit one of the buttons twice, went back in, sacrificed the 5, and I got that mutation. I was like, all right, I don't know what this does, but I'm gonna pop that other
Uh-huh.
button twice, give myself just a bunch of the regular pink humans, and
Uh-huh.
that thing, when you give it like 6 or 7 humans, does some
It's so
work.
strong.
It's really,
It's
its
ridiculous.
health bar is ridiculous, and it's just stomping and kicking people and doing some really good work. It's that one is more powerful than I
Uh-huh.
was expecting.
So have you come across a least favorite enemy yet? Because I can tell you one right now I absolutely despise because it always kills half of my humans whenever they're in a screen.
Oh boy, one of my least favorite is the that kind of like cyber samurai boss from the second level, the one that hits
Because he
really
charges to
fast.
the back row, yeah.
Yeah, the charge usually doesn't bother me too much, but when he gets powered up and he starts swinging super fast, that's when he just destroys me. I
So
don't.
my tricksters and shooters,
Uh,
or my tricksters and healers squad are really good against him because they slow him down so he can't attack that
oh,
quickly,
yeah.
which is really helpful. Um, my least favorite is the mushroom from later in the game. Like the last couple of levels have that mushroom that teleports behind you
Oh, it's the
and
worst.
starts attacking your cultists, your healers,
Your
your ranged
eggheads.
players.
Yeah,
Like and
it's
it
rough.
literally every room I went into with one of them.
Hmm
Like when I did my clear, I cleared the entire level, and then the mushroom guys wiped out half of my humans. So I
Yep.
was like 25 humans left for the final boss, and I was like, I ain't having this. So I got deja vu right back to the beginning of the level, and just beelined a path to the final boss
Right.
and beat him with a full squad because those stupid mushrooms hadn't killed half my humans, and then
Right.
me having to replace them with low-level humans that couldn't hit the
Oh,
final boss. It was just
yeah.
like
I forgot about those mushrooms. Those are cursed.
I
I
hate them
I
so
do like the
much.
final boss fight a lot. It's not a spoiler who you're gonna fight, but I think it's a pretty neat boss fight that doesn't feel, at least on easy, doesn't feel impossible, but it feels like it's enough of a fight where you got to
Mhm.
go in with a good group. You have to have enough people. You can't go in there with like 10 humans and just hope for the best. Um, I think when I beat him on easy, I think I had like 45 humans because I had 1 or 2 of the Doc Ock humans, which take up like 4 slots in your kind of
Yeah,
row
I
there.
think I have 46 and one Dark Arc, but also I had like 3 summons. So I had like a Dalek, a
Right,
bird, and a flaming skull.
right. Oh man, I really like this game a lot, and I'm trying to get better. The thing I'm trying to focus on lately is I'm trying to get better at kind of spinning all the plates evenly. So like I'm trying not to
Uh-huh.
get too many humans. I'm trying to keep enough food to keep them fed, and I'm trying to do the skill tree, and I'm trying to grow everything at about the same rate and kind of trying to get that balance better and see if that helps me out a little bit.
Yeah, the run I'm on, it is an easy run, so take away from this what you will, but the Tricksters Healers thing,
Yeah.
especially with the like having sunk points early into that mutations tab, where I get extra mutations. Like I now get 3 mutation alters every single floor.
That's crazy.
So having that option and then re-rolling it to specifically Tricksters or Healers ones is becoming super helpful. Because like my healers, when they heal, they have remote heal. They're healing for mana as well. They're healing and increasing attack speed, and they also can heal the enemies to poison them.
Oh wow! Okay, I don't even think I've seen that one. Wow.
So like I've got a bunch of mutations stacked in my healers and tricksters categories. So like I said, my tricksters like by default slow the enemy attacks. They do it again when they attack.
Right.
And they have a bonus like 30% evade chance, and they are high evaders at the best of times.
Jeez.
So, like, I'm going through floors right now. Like, I came across one of those samurai charger guys, and I'm not kidding. Like, I beat him before he finished his first charge. Like, he was dead on the floor. And I was like, okay, so I wonder if this would work on normal. / do I want to even bother trying to do this on normal?
Right.
Because the food constraints on normal are ridiculous.
They're very harsh. And there is that mutation for, what is it, you
eat less food.
Yeah, you eat like 20% less food or something, but you move 30% slower in a battle, which
what does it matter? Like, come on.
It's fine. I got bitten by it on one run, but I think because I only really had melee people. But one of the things I like so much about this game is when you do get a good run going, you really go into a room and you stomp everything in that room, and man, it feels good to just go into a room and clear it out in like 10 or 15 seconds. It's like, yeah, you're going to spawn, you got 10 little skull icons, but I'm going to destroy you no matter what. And that feels really great. I feel like we've run across enough roguelikes on the show of like, I got a good run going, but it didn't feel good, and this game feels good when you're strong.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's pretty solid. I think it has suffered from that thing of like when it's even medium is harder.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I mentioned last week, I feel like it still very much is a feast or famine roguelike. Like, you either have a really good run going, or you have a run that's been struggling the whole time until it's going to kill you. And that's fine, but that can feel pretty frustrating sometimes. All right, any final thoughts here for week 2?
I don't know. It's interesting so far. I still don't know how I feel about it. I'm sure we will see.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
It seems like there's still plenty of content for us to kind of keep discovering here, so.
Yeah, I'm curious if that's going to keep going for another 2 weeks, or if it might be a case of I wonder if this is I found the build I like, this is what I'm going to do every time kind of thing.
Right.
With zero reason to experiment out. It's like in Isaac, if you give me Brimstone, I'm done. Like, I don't care.
I'm good,
what else
thanks.
I get. I go Brimstone.
Right. All right. That's week 2 of Despot's Game. Thank you for listening. We'll see you all next run. Bye.
Bye.